And welcome back to the PD Football Podcast. My name is Presh.
My name is Darren.
And how are you doing today?
I'm good. Feeling more energetic, strangely enough, than a usual day after work. But I guess hopefully it continues throughout the week. What about you? How are you doing?
I've been listening to the audiobook of The Godfather. One of the best movies ever made, but this book kind of fleshes out things that the movie didn't have time for. So it's a little bit more interesting to get into the minds of the characters.
So how have you found books as a medium, just generally? Do you enjoy it, or...?
I'm not a big reader, so that's why...
audiobooks, I mean...
Yeah. Well, I haven't listened to audiobooks often. So this was just it came out my... YouTube algorithm, so I just tried it out and...
But it's not really the same when you've watched the movie first, right?
I think it helps because I have an idea in my mind of what things are supposed to look like.
Some people would say that for me, the fun of it is forming your own ideas of what something should look like, but...
That's fine, but for me it's the other way around. Sometimes I just can't picture what...
a thing would look like.
Yeah, not always, but just sometimes I'm just like, I wonder what that would look like, and then I might get stuck upon that. But yeah, listening to an audiobook I've already seen the movie of is very interesting. So with that in mind, last night I started the Dune audiobook.
Oh, nice.
Dune, I'm going to finish it tonight probably, but Dune is a very big thing in the sci-fi community, so I love the movies, so check out the audiobook as well.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about the movie. I didn't know it was a book, to be honest. I read a lot, but not sci-fi, so I might check it out though.
Dune is a very well respected book from the 60s. It was made in response to Lawrence of Arabia. I don't know if you've seen that.
I've read a story about Lawrence of Arabia, but I've never watched the movie, no.
Okay, so Dune is written as a fictionalized version of Lawrence of Arabia set in the future. It's very interesting in terms, listening to the audiobook, I'm not a fan of the prose. The way he writes things is not very interesting, but the themes and the ideas, that's what's interesting to me. That's
yeah, I mean, I guess it depends what you like, A lot of people read for themes and ideas, so...
Alright, well, so getting back to the podcast, what I want to do here today is cover a few Champions League games and then go to Wolves versus Arsenal. So, just like the FA Cup games last week, there's just far too many to mention. So we're just going to focus on a few key ones, if that's alright.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So the first one I want to mention is the early game on Tuesday, which was Galatasaray versus Juventus. Did you see this?
I watched half of it. I mean, my man Spalletti has gone down, unfortunately, but...
well, there's still a second leg.
Second leg. But,
it's difficult, but it's not undoable.
Crazy atmosphere, though, Galatasaray.
Wow.
It's,
I would be scared to play, at one of those grounds with, the chanting and, they have these big drums and, yeah.
It feels like they ride on you.
Yeah,
I feel like... anyone's gonna struggle there.
It's a real cauldron.
Yeah, exactly. The old school. It feels like a bit of an old school football stadium in a lot of ways. Old school San Siro type of vibe. You really fear entering there. I mean, obviously, hopefully, Galatasaray can go deep. It would be nice as a neutral to see them go deep in the competition. I would still prefer Spalletti to get through, though.
Well, I would say first of all, Galatasaray's goals, all of them came from poor defending. So it's not like Galatasaray themselves were really incredible or special. It was more Juventus shooting themselves in the foot over and over again.
And I think the atmosphere intimidated the players. They started making a lot of...
Yeah, that could be a factor.
Errors.
Yeah, so for the first goal, there was a horrible mix-up at the back by Juventus, which allowed Gabriel Sara to neatly finish off. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
What did you think?
I mean, like you said, it was just poor defending, misplaced pass. I don't think there was much more to add.
I just think it's very naive.
But I mean, that's the thing you get with Spalletti teams in the initial period. I think it depends where they're transitioning from. I wouldn't know much. I did like Thiago Motta as a coach, but I do think Thiago Motta is very much he's of a different school of thought to Spalletti. So
I feel
mistakes
like
building up are going to be normal, I would say, at this stage of the project. Yeah.
I feel like Klopp or Guardiola should go to Juventus. They're like a sleeping giant waiting to be woken up, it feels like.
I think that could be the case, but,
Especially Guardiola, because he's like, that's the one league he hasn't done it in, of the top 4 leagues. So,
I wondered, if there's any way he would go in Italy, I think only Juventus or Inter Milan would be able to afford him.
That's true. So, Cambiasso, the left back for Juventus, had a really poor game defensively, but going forward, he beat his man and he put in a really nice chip, which Kalulu hit directly at the keeper, and Koopmeiners scored the rebound. So, even though it was 2 other players that, were more involved, I would put it on Cambiasso as the one who created that goal, because he did quite a lot of the work.
Yeah, I would agree. I think sometimes the assist is better than the goal. I guess that was one of those instances.
Yeah, it wasn't even the assist. It was the pass before the assist.
Yeah.
But I will say, like I said, he had a horrible game defensively, and he got a yellow card in the first half. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Still in the first half, Koopmeiners scores his second, and it was an absolute banger. Right after some neat play in the midfield with Weston McKennie, who played as a false 9, Koopmeiners scored is like a long range shot that just, when it hits the top of the bar and goes in.
The postage stamp.
Yes, very nice. Not a postage stamp. Like it hits the bar and goes down.
Oh, like the Zidane penalty.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think I clocked out of the game around the time it was equal.
So it was 2-1 going at halftime, I believe. Okay, I didn't note that in my notes, but I think it was 2-1 at halftime, and Juventus were looking good. I really liked Weston McKennie at false 9. I believe he played for like Leeds or something, right?
Yeah, he was at Leeds before.
And I didn't think much of him.
I think I only saw him play once or twice. I don't know if he played much at Leeds. I don't watch Leeds much anyway, so.
Yeah, well, when they were in the Premier League, I watched him a few times and I thought, oh, this guy sucks. So to see him being a useful part of a team, it's very good to see that when a coach can see something us laymen can't see,
Yeah,
Spalletti ahead of the game.
Yeah, let's hope. I would, obviously, I would agree with what you're saying about Guardiola, but if you can't get Guardiola, I think I would go for Spalletti. So I think Juventus are in a good place to build either way, and I think there'll be a lot more Weston McKennies coming along in Spalletti's system. We've seen that he's done it before, He's helped players to, I guess, find a level that they haven't been able to find in other systems or other leagues, under other coaches.
Even Messi needed Guardiola to kind of kickstart his career. I read, let me not say that, I listened to an audiobook a while back. There's a book about Messi and his trajectory from La Masia through his career.
Yeah.
This was written about maybe 5 years ago still, so it didn't cover the the World Cup and that kind of part of his career, but his progression, he was a very talented player, and then Guardiola is the one who supercharged him and turned him into the greatest ever,
the unstoppable.
Yeah. So on a slightly lower standard, I would say Sterling as well. Sterling was just a talented winger. He wasn't anything special, and then he gets under Guardiola and he scores he has a 20 goal 20 assist season. 20 goal 10 goal assists.
Yeah.
Season.
20 goal 10 assists.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. So why did we bring that up? Why are we talking about Guardiola?
No, we're talking about coaches can find, I guess,
hidden qualities in a player. Yes, that's true. So then Galatasaray equalized through Noah Lang when he scored a rebound after Yilmaz's shot. So I'm not going to mention Yilmaz again, but he was the chief destroyer of Juventus. He didn't get his name on the... He didn't score. Sheet. Yeah, he didn't score. He did, I guess, as a rebound and assist.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he got the assist for Noah Lang, but he didn't get his name on the sheet, but he was very good.
He was very good. He looks like a very good winger prospect. I think he's 25 or 24.
He's 25,
so
yeah.
I mean, that's the first time I've seen him play. I don't know much about Turkish players or the Turkish league, but he was very entertaining. He reminded me a bit of Alexis Sanchez when he used to play for Arsenal. So let's hope. I don't know if he'll get the opportunity at a bigger club, but a lot of his fundamentals seem like it can be translated into him being a top winger. I mean, one game is a lot to like. There's not much you can ascertain from one game, but I like those sorts of wingers, at least from what I saw in that first half.
Alright. Then Galatasaray get another free kick, which Gabriel Sara takes, and he delivers a wicked delivery in, which Davinson Sanchez, former Spurs player, tucks in neatly. And,
Champions League finalist.
Was he there at the time?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, I don't recall that. I thought he came like the year after, but alright.
Maybe not.
Yeah, Davinson Sanchez scores, and yeah, I can only speak much more about the delivery. His header was alright, but the delivery, really fantastic stuff from Sara. Yes, then Spalletti brings on Cabal, because, like I said, Cambiasso is having an awful game at left back. Cabal gets 2 yellow cards within like 5 to 10 minutes of each other because he was also getting rinsed. And so now they're down to 10 men, and still at 10 men, 4-2 down, they're passing the ball around at the back. Very silly thing to do.
Build-up mistakes. I mean, that's what you get with Spalletti.
It's not a build-up mistake. They weren't building up. Like they were just passing it around at the back, and they didn't realize Osman was there.
I think it's more like a confusion of how to play the system. I think, but like again, I think Spalletti and De Zerbi have the same problems. They both are gonna heavily persist with even if the players don't interpret or read the situation, that they must keep the ball when they're building up. And I think a lot of times it can look like that. It just depends what you want. For me, I like Spalletti's football, so I would bear the low moments to go through the highs when they eventually come,
Alright, well then Osman catches them off guard while passing around at the back, and he passes it to Noah Lang, who scores his second.
What do you think of Noah Lang? At one stage he was one of the hottest winger prospects in Europe, and now it doesn't seem like he's...
Well, this is the only game I've ever watched him in, so that's like you said, you can't ascertain a lot from a single game. But he looked decent. But did he look decent because Juventus were bad? Did he look decent because he's an excellent player? I don't know.
I guess that's what I'm trying to... I've watched him a few times. Every time I watched him, he seemed really good. So I've wondered what is it that's made big clubs be hesitant towards getting him.
So yeah, that's really all I have to say about Galatasaray Juventus. Just I wanted to go through the individual moments and just talk about Spalletti's naivete. And that's about it. Anything else you want to mention about this game?
Nah, nothing. I think you've mentioned everything. Long live Spalletti's naivete for me.
Alright. The second game of the night later on was Benfica versus Real Madrid. And this was the second game back for Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's been injured. He had 2 separate hamstring injuries which have hampered his season. Valverde back in midfield. Arbeloa played a 4-4-2 with a diamond in midfield. Tchouameni at the base of the diamond, Valverde on the right, Camavinga on the left, and Arda Güler in the 10. And then Mbappe and Vinicius as the 2 up front. The 2 up front had very, very little defensive work to do. Whether that's Arbeloa's instruction or they're just lazy, unclear. Perhaps a combination of both. Yes, so all the play early doors was coming from Benfica.
Yeah, I do. I remember the start of the game was pretty...
Their midfield, I forget that guy's name. He's Norwegian.
Oh, yes. I also forgot his name.
I didn't write it down, but he was having an excellent game, right? And Benfica's wingers were really giving Trent and Carreras problems. Speaking about Trent, going into the game, defensively, I think he had a bad game. They weren't punished for it, but Valverde had to basically hold his hand for a number of situations.
The majority of the game, yeah.
Yes, where he got beat and then Valverde was there to bail him out. So just a really poor performance that way. But going forward, he had a few really nice touches and a few...
some of his passes, like in the context of Real Madrid being like a very transition-based club, I think going forward he might be the perfect player for them, especially Vinicius and Mbappe. So we'll see. What's the risk factor, given that, like you said, he tends to struggle defensively. It's how much can you accommodate it in terms of him going up the pitch. I still think he's one of the best players in the world in attack. So I would take the sacrifice and put him in the team, because I don't think Madrid have a more creative player right now.
It's all fun and games playing like Levante and them, man, right? But in the Champions League against like Bayern Munich, when Luis Diaz is rinsing him, are you going to be like, oh, it's fine, his defensive liabilities are fine? You know, that's the times you gotta look.
It's like you have to like, how many right backs are gonna be able to stop or on-form Luis Diaz? I think if someone manages
if this guy's the best in the world.
Yeah, but I think he's the best in the world because of what he contributes to the team. It's like, was Dani Alves the best defensive right back in the world? I don't think so. I'd say
what is the job
of
a defender?
It depends how you look at it. It's like if your right back or your full backs are your creative outlet, then I'd say Trent is one of the best in the world.
But you still have to do the defensive work. It's not one or the other.
But if you have a player like Valverde who's willing to cover for him, it makes sense to let him create. I think for me, he's the type of player that can create something from nothing. So I think he's one of the best players in the world going forward, and I would platform his creative ability, or like I would platform that above his defensive problems.
I would agree with you in terms of Liverpool, where we have somebody like Jordan Henderson, who's a useless player and adds nothing. Valverde can actually contribute to the attack and, like, you know, does a lot more work off the ball.
Yeah, but it's give and take. It's like in the same team as De Bruyne. Some players will have to play a deeper role. Some players will have to sacrifice what they prefer doing. Someone like David Silva. So I think.
Well, I disagree with that. David Silva had still, you know, played quite high. Still played.
Yeah, he played decently, but I think he was more facilitated around controlling the game. He was not really allowed to take the risky passes that De Bruyne made. That was all centered around, hey, this is our creative outlet because he's on point with his delivery. I think it's the same thing with Trent. If Real Madrid had a better creative player, which is practically impossible unless they got prime De Bruyne back right now, in my opinion, then it makes sense to
There's no better creator in the world than Trent.
For me, there's no one that generates play better than Trent.
Bruno Fernandes.
I don't think so. Not all over the park. Maybe in the final third, but Trent can generate play from anywhere. In any game state, I think.
Alright, we're just going to have to disagree about that.
Trent is the closest to KDB or Messi for me in terms of his passing range.
Wow. All I hope is for failure for this guy, if I'm being honest with you. He's a bum.
Bias, but
it's not bias. He's a bum. He's a snake.
Every football fan loves him outside of Liverpool fans, so it is what it is. You know.
Every football fan hated him outside of Liverpool fans until he moved. So,
yeah, because now we can acknowledge his quality.
There we go.
And detach
and there
from
we
your
have
fans.
it. Listeners, there we have it. There we have it.
I didn't hate him though. I always thought he was the best.
So the main thing I was thinking is Madrid lack a controller in midfield. They kept losing the ball and they struggled with the build-up from, you know, in the middle part of the park. That's what I really feel. That's not anything new, or everybody has known that since Kroos left. They don't have that kind of metronome who's going to keep the ball ticking over. So, yeah. The next thing I want to say is Madrid was sitting deep to counter, which is a very cowardly tactic in my opinion. You can say whatever you want about that. Madrid are a big team. They should be generating play. They're the ones who should be looking to create the space, not just sitting back and countering. That's very, like I said, cowardly. So like in the last 10 minutes of the half, Madrid started applying a little bit of pressure to the game because they were just sitting off the whole time. And in the last 5 minutes of the first half, the Benfica midfield looked gassed. They were totally finished. They were struggling. And they just made it into halftime at 0-0. Yeah. And so Jose could, you know, refresh, give them some new instructions, etc. So, yeah. I think more so their conditioning let them down more than effort and like technique and those kinds of things. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, I think I guess it was also like the physical level of. I generally think if I've noticed anything of playing like Portuguese teams, it's the intensity is one thing. Generally, any team can take advantage of. I think even like PSG, maybe Sporting got the better of Man City last season, and I mean it was like it was like a perfect game for them. Every chance they had came off. So I think there is a definite like difference in intensity level. I think between like I would say even a club like I think a lot of the Portuguese I guess success compared to like maybe someone like Marseille who are able to generate more play against better opponents is probably due to their inclination towards like keeping clean sheets. But I think obviously if you can overrun them physically, I think they really don't offer much, Benfica, in terms of the top level of the Champions League.
So in the second half, Madrid continue where they left off, and they just applying more pressure. This is the type of football we want to see. Instead of them sitting off, we want to see front foot football from them. And this pays off with Vinicius scoring a beautiful goal. Incredible curler from like I don't know if it was just outside the box or just inside, but that
incredible
area.
Goal, yeah. Typical Vinicius goal in a way, but incredible nonetheless.
Yeah, so from this, Vinicius starts celebrating. He does a little dance at the corner flag, and the Benfica fans do not like this. They really get frustrated, and one of the Benfica players goes over and says something, and there's like a big clash that the referee gives a yellow card to Vinicius for inciting the crowd, I assume. A little bit like 2 minutes later, a player, his name is Prestiani, says something to him behind his shirt. So basically he lifted his shirt up so you can't see his lips moving, and he said something to Vinicius. Vinicius then goes to the referee, and the referee stops the game. Now apparently this was due to a racist incident. Prestiani said something to him that was racist, which really upset Vinicius, and they had to stop the game. Afterwards, Prestiani has come out and said that he didn't say anything racist.
He's lying.
He said he called him the F word, which not fuck, the one, which is like, yeah, I'm not a racist, I'm a homophobe, how dare you? Which I'm like, that's not gonna what's it called, defense is not very well thought out, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I wish the worst for him in his career, Prestiani. Hopefully we find him playing out his days in the lower leagues.
Well, I have no evidence. None of the other Real Madrid players that were close to Vinicius reacted in the same way, so it's possible Vinicius...
Mbappe did react.
No, at the moment.
Yeah.
So Prestiani says something, Vinicius is the only one who reacts and goes to the referee. After the fact, Mbappe says something to him. But I'm saying in that very moment, Camavinga, Mbappe, and Vinicius were all around him, and Vinicius is the only one who reacted. So it's possible he misheard.
I doubt it.
I don't want to say Vinicius is lying or whatever. I'm trying to give options.
I don't
about what happened.
I think Prestiani was guilty, so that's just my opinion. I don't want to make him seem like the good guy or say I'm waiting for his opinion or all the facts to come out. He knows what he did.
We don't know.
Hopefully he gets his career taken away from him. That's what I hope. Maybe he gets a long-term injury. Maybe he gets in a car accident and loses his ability to walk.
Okay, that's no need for that.
I wish the worst for him.
There's no need for that.
We can agree to disagree.
Trent deserves the worst, not this poor guy.
No, this poor guy, any racist deserves the worst. Luis Suarez also deserved the worst, so he didn't get it though.
But you loved it when he scored those goals for your club.
No, I didn't. I didn't actually support the MSN because of him. You can ask my brother.
No, whatever, bro. To each their own. What else did you think about this game?
Nothing. I just was angry at Prestiani by the end of it.
Because similarly, the racism incident kind of killed the game. Both teams weren't like really doing anything. Benfica were totally gassed. Madrid, they didn't take advantage of that situation, which they should have. It felt like both teams had like the air pulled out of the game. I don't know how to.
And based on his comments after the game, I no longer like Jose Mourinho. So
what did Jose Mourinho say? Sorry,
he said that why does this keep happening to Vinicius? Maybe it's something wrong with the player. So for me, that sounds like he's
victim blaming.
He's victim blaming. So I used to like him. I've lost a lot of respect for him now, and I hope he keeps failing as he has in his last couple of jobs.
All right, let's play devil's advocate. Why do you think it keeps happening to Vinicius?
It doesn't justify it, even if he's an annoying player.
No, I'm not justifying it. I'm asking a question.
There have been many players who've been antagonistic, and I think Thierry Henry, Vinicius, you can count the players who've got this sort of treatment, and they're almost always black.
All right. Anyway, anything else you want to say about this game?
Fuck Jose Mourinho.
All right. Let's move on to Wolves 2, Arsenal 2. So this is the big talking point of the big game of the week, because there's no other Premier League games. This was due to a rescheduling because of the
Carabao.
Yeah, because of the Carabao Cup. This game has been shifted to this time slot. Arsenal set up in their usual 4-3-3 and made 2 changes to the team that drew with Brentford last week. I do understand they had a FA Cup game as well in the middle that
against Wigan.
Yeah, that was a totally different team. I'm just comparing it to last week with the Brentford game, right? Saliba came in for Mosquera, and Martinelli came in for Trossard, and Saka came in for Eze. Those were the 3 changes from Arsenal. Wolves set up in a 3-4-3 with Arokodare replaced by Bellegarde, João Gomez out for Andre, and Chachua in for Rodrigo Gomez. So Wolves get off to the worst possible start as Mateus Mane is ball watching and Saka goes in to score the goal. But for me, the real story is the excellent cross by Rice.
Yeah. I mean, I discussed that last week. Like, I think right now for me he's carrying us a lot, but we'll discuss it. You can introduce the goals and stuff, and then I'll give my opinions on.
Okay, I would say in the first half the 2 really big culprits for Arsenal were Martinelli for not controlling the ball properly and Gyökeres for not making the correct runs. They killed so many attacks for Arsenal. It was all one-way traffic in terms of the play, and the 2 of them, they killed off all the attacks that, like Saka might play one of them in, but then they take the wrong touch or something like that. I just really thought Martinelli and Gyökeres were very, very poor.
Yeah, that was probably Martinelli's worst game in an Arsenal shirt for a long time. I would say since the days we first signed him. Like he seemed like a bit like making a lot of petulant mistakes. I don't know if he was overthinking everything. Maybe he was feeling the pressure from Trossard. Trossard's probably been our best attacking player, at least in terms of creativity and end product in the last couple of months. So I guess I don't know what it was, but the threat that Martinelli usually has didn't feel like it was there. I don't feel like he was linking players well. I don't feel like he was providing an option behind. I feel like he was running to the ball a lot, which is not something he's good at or usually does. But I think maybe having Saka in the middle was a bit confusing. Although I really liked Saka in the middle, which for me, this means the main thing I'm asking for is Eze on the left. That's what I want. I think Saka or Eze on the left, but preferably Eze, because the way Saka played the 10 position for me, especially out of possession as well, was really good for the first half.
Okay, so they conceded early, and you would think Wolves would have, conceded more, but they stayed resolute and weathered the storm. Then in the last 10 minutes of the first half, they start to express themselves a little bit. They didn't do too much. I don't even think they got a shot on target, but it's just getting some good possession, getting some time on the ball, giving the players a bit to breathe. They just got some time on the ball, and that's how the first half ends. In the second half, Wolves come out playing some good football. Now they're actually applying some good pressure to the Arsenal defence and holding the ball up a little bit. Arokodare is especially making a nuisance of himself and winning some half chances.
And Martinelli's still giving the ball away a lot.
So you're speaking about giving the ball away, but I would also mention that when Trossard came on, he also gave the ball away.
Quite a bit. Not that one was better than the other, but I'm saying it was just a bit uncharacteristic of the way Martinelli was playing. I guess it seemed like he was trying to play a bit like Trossard. When Trossard came on, I think he just had a bad game. But I think Martinelli was trying to maybe play the position in a similar way to Trossard, and I don't think it works for him.
Then Hincapie scores a goal against the run of play. Gabriel breaking the lines to get Hincapie in.
Great pass by Gabriel.
Yeah, we need to see more of that. Gabriel, the thing is, Gabriel is a centre-back. It should be Zubamendi or Rice with these deep line-breaking passes. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Zubamendi was bought to do these line-breaking passes. That's what he was good at Sociedad.
The assumption was that he was going to be like a Thomas Partey. We shouldn't mention him now, but of course, Thomas Partey that's better out of possession.
Not the person.
Yeah, not the person. That's better out of possession. Because I think I don't know why he hasn't been playing it the same way, but I think Thomas Partey, the one thing he gave us when he did play was constantly playing through the lines, constantly playing forward. So,
okay.
I mean, if there's anything I would say, I think it's not something that comes naturally to Rice. Like he's never been good at line breaking passes. That's always been the one critique of his game. But I will give him credit for trying, for taking it on. Like I think he's at least stepping out of his comfort zone. Whereas I think Zubamendi, Odegaard, a lot of players are playing within their comfort zone, which leaves a lot of responsibility to Rice. I think right now he's carrying us. I think we would have lost the last two, possibly lost maybe 3 of the last 5 games if it wasn't for like Rice, especially defensively and being able to break the press a lot. A lot of times it feels like he's doing the midfield job on his own right now, so it's not a good sign going forward, especially with Man City looking as good as they are.
So despite the goal, Wolves' momentum continues and Hugo Bueno scores a wonder goal. Now,
similar to the Vinicius goal.
Not really, but I kind of see what you're saying, but in that they're both long range. But for this one, I would say Raya could have done better, in my opinion. I think his positioning for it was... Raya keeps getting caught a little bit forward. This has happened a few times now where he's been chipped. This time it wasn't a chip, but because he was so far forward, Hugo Bueno was able to finish in this way, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've probably had the most amount of... I think I saw a stat that said Arsenal have had the highest amount of low XG goals conceded against them in the Premier League. So it could be something related to Raya's positioning. But again, I think it's a give and take because he's like comfortably, I think, the best at claiming crosses, which start a lot of quick transitions for us. So I think that is due to his positioning as well. So if you take that away, I think maybe the main thing would be like getting the ball or getting like attackers that could read that. It's a give and take. It's very similar to Edison. I wouldn't say Raya's the complete keeper like Alisson, but I'd say that if you could play to his strengths or get a team that could play to his strengths, it's okay. The teams aren't always going to score wonder goals. It's not a big... I think it's more important for his positioning in terms of claiming crosses and being able to play the ball out quickly.
Another thing I was kind of shocked at, not shocked, just more like frustrated with as a neutral watching the game, is that Arsenal kept hoofing the ball, right? They would just kick it up the field instead of like trying to find a person, trying to...
that's what I was saying. Rice was the only one who was trying to generate play, who was breaking the press. Everyone else seemed to try to bypass midfield. I don't know if maybe like Zubamendi's playing with the lack of confidence that's like seeping into the 2 centre halves as well, because they're usually so assured of themselves. I've never seen... I think the last time I saw Saliba make that many mistakes in the game was probably when we first signed him. So it was a strange game in a lot of ways, honestly.
So yeah, just those long balls just led to too many turnovers for Arsenal. They really struggled to keep the ball.
And Wolves kind of overpowered us physically the longer the game went on.
Because I would say certain players look gassed, like Zubamendi and Timber. Those were the two that really, for me, looked like really tired, really out of it.
I think Ben White picked up an injury in the FA Cup warm-up. Otherwise, I think he would have been starting a few games now.
But is there no one else that can cover right back?
Calafiori got injured, I think, in that warm-up before. I'm not sure if it was the last game or this game, but I'm not sure. He probably has I wouldn't say... I don't know about Miles on the right. I think Miles would get... he's struggling a bit defensively recently, so I think that's why he hasn't gotten a team. I
was just wondering, because I assumed Ben White would be the person, but now that you're telling me Ben White was unavailable, I really... It's a shame that Arsenal didn't have anyone to come on for Timber. But I would say for midfield, there's no such excuse because they have Norgard.
Yeah, we could have. I mean, he did play well in the FA Cup, so.
That being said, I wouldn't have played Norgard because that's not what the game called for. Norgard is a defensive midfielder, right?
Yeah.
So I would have dropped Zubimendi and played Eze and let Rice be the lone 6.
Again, I wanted Eze on the wing, so I would, even if you push Martinelli through the centre, I think Martinelli and Gyökeres are a bit similar if they play through the centre, but Martinelli has more, like, he's better technically, like, comfortably better technically. So, again, that's always been my thing. Why not play Martinelli through the centre and Eze through on the left? Then you have 3 quick and creative players attacking, but...
Because, the front 3 didn't seem balanced. Madueke, Gyökeres, and Martinelli, that's not a...
And I think Madueke needs a high amount of technical security around him to be able to reach his, like, having Ben White or Timber close to him sometimes help, particularly Ben White, because I think Ben White's good at interplay, Ben White's good at overlapping. I think Saka plays better. Saka could play with either, he plays better with Timber because I think he's good at going inside. But the way Saka played the 10 is the way I would want my 10 to play. Like, he constantly played forward, he constantly took men out for the strikers, and like you said, it was more a thing of Gyökeres and Martinelli not making the runs when Saka or Eze later on opened up the space. So I think the main thing I would like, a fundamental disagreement I've probably had with Arteta since Eze signed is that he hasn't played Saka and Eze much together, whereas I think you have to find a way to get them both in the team for me.
Because how much did he cost? Like 65 million or something for Eze, and I feel like you really haven't gotten the best out of him, or what we've seen at Crystal Palace. He hasn't shown that quality at Arsenal, I don't think.
Not yet,
yes. I thought Andre had a very tidy game. He's the CDM for Wolves at the base of their midfield. You could say perhaps it's because Zubimendi was tired that made him look good, but I just thought he, not just in this game, but I've seen him a few times, and he just looks like a tidy player.
Yeah, and I think Zubimendi, you're right, he just needs a rest, because for like 10-minute spells he'll look unplayable and then he'll completely drop off. I don't know if it's an energy thing, maybe it's he has to, like, a different level of physicality in the Premier League that he's not used to. Like, I think it's in La Liga, it's more technical. It's more like everyone plays on the ground. There's not as much teams that press high, So he looks tired, but at times when the game state is in our favor, he looks like our best player. So it's hard to judge with him. I can understand why he's not being dropped, but I do think he needs to be rotated. And I think Norgard is good enough. Like, unless we're playing one of the big teams, I think he can fill in those dynamics good enough for us to get at least a couple of wins and some rest in Zubimendi's legs,
Norgard is Premier League proven. It's such a shame that he's not getting more minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I agree with you on that.
Even give Rice a rest,
Rice needs a rest.
Play Norgard and Zubimendi together.
But like I said, with Rice I can understand, because I think we would have lost a lot of games had it just not been for Rice and the way he was able to break up the opposition play and sustain our pressure. Like, at times he's not meant to be the creative outlet, like you said, for the goal we scored, but he takes that on. He does it because no one else is doing it. So,
but isn't that bad coaching?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily bad coaching. I think sometimes it can be a sign of overcoaching, maybe inexperienced coaching. Yes, I wouldn't say it's necessarily bad, because I think at the same time it's like,
because if Rice feels he's the only one that can, make a difference.
I don't necessarily think Rice feels that way. Like you said, we're getting in good positions. I don't know if it's a coaching issue or if it's something where the rest of the players aren't necessarily taking on the responsibility that Rice does. Saka does. I mean, I don't think Saka's fully fit. I think he's also being overplayed because he's coming back from injury, being played again every game, full 90 minutes. I think maybe now he's trying to rotate him more. Hopefully things peak at the end of the season, but I do think it's like so many times Eze will make a gap, Saka will make a gap, and then Martinelli runs to the ball, Gyökeres runs to the ball. So it could be an issue of bad coaching, but I'd say that if the floor of the team is that good that we're not going to drop below a certain level, I think at some point it's like maybe the players have to help the coach out, maybe the coach has to be less authoritarian. I don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but I would say that it's like, I wouldn't, like, it's hard to say it's bad coaching when we hardly give anything away, because we are a defensive team. So I think everything is approximated of the fact that we play defensive football in Arteta's mind. So
yeah, but
it's like
you can't just miss out a whole portion of play and say, well, I'm a defensive
but
coach.
I think it could just be a thing of like a certain level of games. I think he approaches football in the same way that Simeone or Mourinho approach football. So his thing is, if we can reduce the amount of chances our opponents create, we don't need to create too much to win. So it's not like we're gonna. I think we have the best ex-lead difference in the league, but in terms of chances created, I think we're like 4th or 5th. So I think there's something there that shows that it's more like in every game we're creating more chances than the team we're playing. That's how Arteta views football. So I think it's more a thing of it. It's like we are going to have to win in a similar way to a Simeone team, in the same way that Griezmann or Koke would take the risk and bail the system out in a game where it was like on a nice edge. I think Arsenal players need to do that more. We did that at the start of the season. We've done that at points, so hopefully we can get over the line. I think we will still. I really do, but let's see. I think a lot of it is going to be dependent on Rice, Saka and Eze for the rest of the season.
So it's about the 88th minute, and I'm thinking these guys are time-wasting pieces of shit. Rice takes a full minute to take a corner. Trossard refuses to leave the pitch to get treatment for... he said he got elbowed, but instead of getting treatment, he stays on the pitch and keeps walking around. And I understand every team wastes time, but this was really overdoing it. I was getting pissed off.
But Trossard was a concussion. He had to do a concussion check, right? And it looked like he actually struggling to walk and stuff.
But you get injured, you go off the pitch, right?
But I'm saying if he was stumbling, maybe he was struggling to get off the pitch.
What's interesting is, and I went back to watch it, he gets up, he looks to the bench, shakes his head, and walks back onto the pitch, right? And then they do sub him later, but he was trying to waste time, right?
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I didn't see the review of the situation, so I'll take your word for it.
So then, as it goes on, a hit and hope cross from Mateus Mane leads to a mix-up from Raya and Gabriel. So there's obviously some miscommunication, but I believe Raya is to blame. He needs to be more forceful and take command of his area.
I think either of them. I think in that situation, Raya could be blamed, but I think Gabriel was chaotic throughout the game. Aside from the exceptional pass he gave for the second goal, he was very, very off it. He lost the ball a lot. Like you said, he was just... I feel like Saliba and Rice were trying to play out, and then Gabriel would just clear it out. Then he's shouting at players when he makes a mistake. So I think he was just...
I've seen that before. Jordan Henderson, the biggest culprit. He'll shout at someone for not being there. There was one time he was supposed to be marking the space, and they scored. And he looks around and he can't find anyone to shout at.
That's what it was. It was strange from Gabriel, but he needs to rein it in a bit. I think if I was Arteta, I'd give the captain's armband to Rice, because I think Rice...
He's the only one stepping up.
And everyone, I think he has the most... seems like he has the most respected voice in the dressing room.
I see. So I really thought Arsenal deserved it for the egregious time wasting they were doing. They bottled a 2-0 lead against the bottom team.
I thought Wolves in the end they deserved the point. They put enough pressure on in the last 30 minutes to say that okay, it was a fair result.
I would argue that in the reverse fixture they gave Arsenal a really good game.
The reverse fixture they were better than.
It was actually I think the last kick of the game that Arsenal scored from, that they just made it out instead of getting a draw against them at the Emirates. So very good job to Wolves, I think. Now the bigger question is, they bottled the lead last night. Will they bottle the league? I
mean, 2 points. It depends. We've seen gaps close to 2 points. We've seen it go both ways. We know Man City. We know what Pep's going to do probably. We know it's probably going to be 90% till the end of the season. So we'll see. I don't think we're going to bottle it, honestly. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It is what it is, We keep moving.
I think this is not the City of old. There's no KDB. There's no Gundogan. Foden is out of form. Who's going to be the one to put the team on their back and carry them through these next 12 or so games?
Turkey.
Could be. I don't know why I'm laughing. I just think it's not the City of old. They not capable of going on a 10-game unbeaten
That's
run.
what still making me think we're gonna win it in the end.
That being said, I think
we'll get the best of them.
I think they'll beat Arsenal at the Etihad. So I just don't see where
it depends
where City are gonna lose the points. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I think we've been generally good. We've had a good record against them in the last 2 seasons, so I think we can beat them there, but I think it's going to be more than that. I think both teams are not really looking like complete teams yet, so I think there's going to be a lot of drop points. It's going to be an entertaining title race, I think Aston Villa will also drop away. They've also been conceding a lot of
You
chances.
keep saying that. It's been 2 months that you keep saying that.
Yeah, and they've dropped from 5 to 7 points away. Arsenal haven't been playing well. City haven't been playing well, so they're still dropping away.
All right. Anything else you want to mention about this game? Any other points you want to bring up?
No, I mean...
you said you wanted to say something about Rice.
Oh, I think I just
okay, you said it within
more that he seems to be the player that's taking on a lot of creative responsibility. If I had to guess, I liked the way Saka played the 10, so that worked out now. But before that, I was going to say if Arteta refuses to play Saka in the 10, because the thing with Eze is he has a lot of similar traits to Saka in the 10, but I think the one thing he's not as good at, specifically in the middle, is leading the press. And I think he has to pick that up, especially because he's coming from pressing in a back 3 under Glasner, where I think he was the player that the team played for, coming into a team where Saka is the player the team plays for. So I think it makes more sense to have him on the wing. It can open up his creative abilities. He gets more chances as well, because I don't think he's ever played in a team where he hasn't had to be the main creative and scoring outlet. So now he finally... Well, I guess when Olise was there, but it wasn't the Olise of now, It was like a very raw Olise. So it's I think now he has a player like Saka alongside him where he can focus a bit more on the end product. And I think Saka's a better player centrally than Eze. Eze is a better player potentially on the left than Saka. So hopefully that comes into play. If anything, I think before I was going to say I would have wanted Rice closer to goal, because he seems to be taking on the responsibility of at least taking shots or swinging in crosses. But... I would like both of them closer to goal, so it means, I think, I like the fact that Rice is taking risks, like you said, so I think if we get him a bit more in places where he can create, because it's not like Martinelli or Trossard. I mean, Trossard is doing well, depending on how you look at it, but whoever's occupying the half spaces, if it's not Saka or Eze, I don't think they're doing much, and I think if Eze is our best finisher, it makes sense to get someone else who's going to take the risks in the half spaces. That's what I liked Calafiori for, but he's injured for a while now. So I think
didn't he play last night?
I think he got. I read something that he's injured or he's out now.
After last night.
Maybe I read it this morning. I could have been reading an old article. Sorry if I'm wrong, but
okay, because he's the one. We didn't actually mention the goal, but there was a mix-up from Raya and Gabriel, and then they scored. We just mentioned the mix-up.
It got credited to him as an own goal.
Yes. So I also want to say, shout out to Tom Edozie, who's a debutant. He's the one who scored the goal.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, now that you're saying Calafiori, it was credit to him, but I mean...
He took the shot. It was a good shot. It was a really good shot.
It was his debut, and I really think that was a really good moment for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Kudos to him.
Kudos.
But yeah, basically I'd just say get Rice closer to goal, and I think right now the way he's playing, he can solve a lot of our problems.
Alright. So we're done with this?
Yeah.
You have no other thoughts?
Not as far as I can think of. On your end?
Not really. Just, I think I would put down the the draw to Arteta.
Yeah, I would as well, honestly.
Not rotating enough, not playing front foot football against the worst team in the league. There's a lot of times where I just thought, you're passing sideways. It should be more active, This is the type of game where you extend your goal difference, This isn't the type of game where you, unceremoniously throw things away, and that's a damn shame for Arsenal if this is the way they bottle the league.
We'll see. Time will tell. I don't think we're going to bottle it.
But that being said, I am going to make the image for this episode a picture of Arteta inside of a Coke bottle saying Bottle Man begins, the Arteta story.
Okay.
Okay. So let's get on to the miscellaneous news stories, which is only one. I forgot to mention this in the last episode, so just...
Jose Mourinho's a cunt. Is that it?
Okay. Vitor Perreira named the new Nottingham Forest coach.
Oh, he gets another go at the Premier League.
You're not a fan?
I didn't. I thought he did well at Wolves when he first came in. I remember I think they played a game against Man City where they I don't know if they lost or won, but I think they had them on the back foot for most of the game. So I don't know much about Vitor Perreira, honestly. But
well, I know that he played with a back three.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I mean, again, the only protagonist of a back three to date that I've liked is probably Simone Inzaghi and Thomas Tuchel. Yeah, but
Conte.
No.
Fuck Conte.
I mean, but Thomas Tuchel he started with a back four, went to a back three, he's like, you don't know what you're getting with him, whereas I guess, Inzaghi's more principled on only using a back three, so...
Yeah, but Vitor Perreira, I was actually very bullish about Wolves coming into the season, because he had them playing so good football last season. Now, am I just looking at results and saying, oh, he got the result, or... because I don't actually watch them. So I wonder if it's going to be similar at Forest, where it's like he'll con a few results, but like playing style wise, he's not.
But sometimes it's not even really about the playing style, because I think many coaches can come in, play good football. I think we've discussed it in private many times that probably the biggest thing with football coaching is man management. And I think that's why you could have like someone who's probably doesn't think about the tactical or analytical elements of the game as much as people who'd be considered the greatest coaches like Ancelotti or even Alex Ferguson, to that matter, who can still rise to the top of the footballing pyramid just off their man management, you know.
Alright, anything else to say about Vitor Perreira?
I wish him luck. I like Nottingham Forest. I mean, I don't like their owner. I don't like Mr. Marinakis, but I kind of like the history of the club. They have a good story. I've watched a couple documentaries on Brian Clough, so I wish them luck. I hope he succeeds.
I also wish them luck. In the championship next year.
You've been waiting to say that.
No, I want West Ham to stay up. So by virtue of that, somebody has to go down, right? And that just happens to be Nottingham Forest.
Hopefully it's Tottenham.
No hard feelings to Nottingham Forest, but it's going to be you.
Tottenham are firmly in there now.
They're in the race, but
if Igor Tudor has a 6 months like he had before he got sacked at Juventus, they might go down.
That is true. Yeah. Igor Tudor and Vitor Perreira, that should have been the same story we were talking about on Monday.
Yeah.
So I regret not bringing it up then. But yeah, 2 new managers for the race for the bottom. Let's see how it pans out.
I'm shocked that Tottenham didn't get De Zerbi though. I mean, he was right there. Opportunity missed, but someone will get him. I'm pretty sure he's coming back to the Premier League. I just don't know where. Alright,
well, as long as we're done there.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, give a like, etc.
Leave a comment.
Importantly, it needs to be a 5-star review. You can find all our links at pdfootball.com. That's the letter P, the letter D, football.com. Please tell a friend. Tell that friend to tell a friend. Tell a family member. Yeah, goodbye.
Peace out.